So guys, welcome back to the channel. Right here, we have the MOTO Pad 2026. And yes, this pen right here, this cheap $8 pen that I reviewed on the channel does in fact work with the MOTO Pad. Now, timestamps will be in the description. This isn't going to be a regular review like everyone else's. I'm just talking about the stuff that people kind of care about in this video. And it's like, does it work? When I click on the app, does it work? Does it load when I hit settings? You know, does it load when I hit Google Home? Does it load when I hit File Manager? If I decide to hit the menu and switch between the application, will it load up? And the answer to the question is yes. You will experience a little bit of lag, I will admit, over time, because technically this is a mid-tier processor with like a Dimensity 6300. But outside of that, my everyday experience has been pretty good. Now, for the people using this for games or for your children, lower end to mid-tier games run just fine. But if you're trying to do like Call of Duty Mobile, Minecraft and stuff, you may have to adjust the graphical settings, but it is possible to play those games. I do have a separate video showing that. In this video, I'll show it playing Minecraft, and then we'll talk about like editing and customization and things like that. Now, with that being said, on the right-hand side, you do, like I said, timestamps in the description, you want to skip ahead. But on the right-hand side, I have the listing of the specs. So what are we looking at right here? This was actually launched in 2026, April 7th, but this is technically a rebranded tablet from Lenovo. So it's been out for a little bit, and they decided to just rebrand it with the Motorola branding right here. As you can see, Motorola's on here. If you look this up online and look up Lenovo and compare these two tablets, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. It's literally the same exact thing. So anyway, you are looking at a IPS LCD display, 90 hertz, 500 nits maximum. We'll talk about that a little bit later. 11 inches total in size. It is 274 for the PPI, 1600 by 2560. This does launch for Android 16. You have a MediaTek Dimensity 6300 processor. Now, before you groan about Android 15 like I did, applications run just fine with this. Whether it's Facebook, Instagram, any of your social medias, it will be perfectly fine even with Android 15. As a matter of fact, this can play The Division Resurgence. This can play Warframe if you want it to. Not very well, Warframe, but it does play those games, while other tablets like the A9 Plus and stuff won't even give you an option to download it. So even though this Android technically is older than some other tablets, it's still more optimized for certain games and applications, and that's one of the reasons why I particularly like this tablet. Now, with that being said, it does take an SD card slot. Matter of fact, I have a 256 gig in it right now. 128 gigs internally is the normal, 8 gigs of RAM. The UFS is 2.2. Main camera is 8 megapixels, which is a wide. Front is going to be an 8 megapixel wide. There's nothing to write home about. You're not going to use this to go to your children's recital and record. It's going to look like crap for the most part. So just stick to using your regular phone in that regard. You do have a loudspeaker, and it does have Dolby Atmos with 4 speakers. So you got the 1, 2, bop down here, and then you got 1, 2 up top. Again, this feels like a premium product. You know what's interesting? If you took the M off of this and put Samsung instead and look at the body and shape, you would actually think, outside of this weird color, you would think that this was a Samsung tablet based on the build quality, but it's not. It's actually Motorola. That's what makes it great. You do have the USB-C at the bottom. You have your headphone jack on the left-hand side of this. So there you go. That's always useful. This is Bluetooth 5.2. Don't be shocked because it's an older technology. It is USB Type-C 2.0. Now, the headset that I have synced to this, like the sound cores right here, the Liberty 5 Pro Maxes, this worked just fine with it. I didn't have any issue with disconnectivity or anything, so you don't even have to worry about that. Now, the sensors is a accelerometer, proximity, accessories only, it says right here, just letting you know. The battery is 7040 mAh total, so 7040 mAh, and the wired charging is 20 watts. There's no wireless charging or anything like that. So it will take some time in order for this to charge from 0 to 100%, so keep that in mind. Anyway, I like the tablet. I do suggest a tablet for everyday use. For different walks of life, it does work very, very well, but there are some drawbacks, and we're gonna talk about that in this video. Anyway, with that being said, let's not waste any more time and get right into the review. So let's talk about the screen a little bit. You have an IPS LCD 90 hertz screen. The max brightness is 500 nits. It is an 11-inch screen. The body ratio is 82.9%. Resolution is going to be 1600 by 2560. The PPI is going to be 274, and the aspect ratio is going to be 16 by 10. You should know what that means. It's 16:10 in terms of aspect ratio when we look at applications in the screen itself. Now, the 90 hertz works very well. So as you can see, if I swipe, it's obviously not going to have the same quality swipe as a POLED or a Super AMOLED or your iPhone or anything like that. But I did notice that this actually loads pretty well. It loads pretty quickly. It runs smoothly. I haven't really had any issues with any type of lag. Like, it does exist, obviously, with these mid-tier tablets because this technically is a Dimensity 6300 processor. Now, it does have 8 gigs of RAM, and you are looking at 128 gigs eternally, which is awesome for a tablet. The Samsung, which Metro just recently discontinued, had only 64 gigs, and they ended up letting you guys get the A11 Plus or whatever it's called, and that one is, $149, while this one is only $50 for signing up for new service. So it'll be $50 for the tablet, and then you're looking at $20 for the plan initially, so about $72, $73 at the taxes. You can call customer service to get it lowered for the people that are from the Metro by T-Mobile family, but if you're just buying this straight out, I don't know what the original price is, but hopefully this review will help break this down so you can determine if it's actually worth the asking price. But so far, the screen is super, super sharp. I haven't had an issue where I had any like glare or anything like that. I only got one page on the screen, so I'm sitting here swiping back and forth like something's happening. But yeah, everything just loads pretty well. The touch is decent. It works well. I don't have any issues with this. Even when it comes to switching applications, you could just see how seamless that is. It works very, very, very well for a mid-tier tablet. And I think that it's worthwhile in just that regard alone. But anyway, let us continue with this review. So this right here is the front camera. It is 5 megapixels. You have the capability of 720p 30 frames or 1080p 30 frames. I do want to say I'm also outside, so in case you're wondering, I'm in the same spot so you guys can get an idea of how my background is, how this camera looks. I don't think it's horrible. It's not great either. Obviously, if you're a photographer or if you're trying to record a special moment in your life, then I wouldn't really use this tablet for that. But I do want to say that it does work. So if you're doing video calls, I'm not going to say FaceTime calls, like Facebook calls, Google calls, or Zoom, this tablet will work for that, and it's good enough in that regard. But if you're trying to do some heavy duty recording, then let's be honest, get yourself a real camera or get yourself a better cell phone that has more megapixels and is sharper, at 60 frames and things like that. But this is good enough for a Motorola tablet. You're not going to use this for photography. This is more so for just videos, like video conferences and video calls. So yeah, and you got your sample. So we got to talk about these speakers. Now, this actually has Dolby Atmos built in. Don't mind the smudges, people. Right here, it says Dolby Atmos, and you can actually access that through the settings of the tablet itself. And I want to show you that right now before we do this little sound section. So right here, if you go to the settings, you're going to end up scrolling down to where it says sounds and vibrations. All the way down here. Wait, is it sound and vibrations? Should be. Yeah, here we go. Dolby Atmos. Almost made me forget for a moment. And then right here, you have dynamic, movie, and music. So music is rich, detailed audio that delivers every note and beat with power you can feel. So we're going to switch it over to music right now. And you can see the different equalizer options for the movie. Well, movie is just for the dialogue enhancer. Dynamic is just dynamic as is. And music actually allows you to change it to an equalizer depending on which one you want. So you do need to change it to detailed, which will have more bass or balance. Up to you. But for right now, we're just going to leave it on dynamic. Now, with that being said, I'm going to play a YouTube video for you guys. Do I have U-Cut on here? I don't. I don't have U-Cut on here. So I'm just going to play a YouTube video. Let's see. Where's the... I apologize, y'all. The angle is hard for me to see because I have a camera right in front of my face. So just bear with me. I'm going to play one of my videos for you. But what I'm going to do first is... something tells me there's going to be some ad playing first, so let me just go ahead and turn it down. Sure enough, always trying to sell you something in this world. They're always trying to sell you some junk you don't need. Anyway, let's skip this garbage. Oh, another ad for Walmart. Let's wait for this to get over with. And before you say anything, no, I'm not paying for YouTube Premium. It's pointless. Here we go. Evo. Now, you see the $20 price tag. That's not what they cost. They're actually $59.99. You can get them on the Skull Candy website on sale at times and also on Amazon. I'll have a link for anyone that wants to look up the specifications of this particular device in case I miss anything. Now, I do want to also say that, like I said, I got for $20. This is technically a more budget pair of earbuds for the person out there that loves the Skull Candy brand. You'll be used to. It's loud, it works well, and it's actually very loud. Now, to kind of drive this point home, I'm going to go to the SD card and I'm going to play some music. Now, I don't know what's YouTube friendly, so I'll just play something that I made like 100 years ago. Do I have anything that doesn't suck? Hold on, let me see. I guess the Purge, I used the Purge. That's loud. That's actually very loud. That's very loud. Now, I don't know how this stacks up compared to other tablets, but to be honest with you, as a person that just bought a tablet on a whim just to kind of review it, I'm fine with this quality of sound. I know there are better tablets out there that have louder sounds, sharper picture, louder speakers, etc., etc. But when you're purchasing something, a lot of times you just want it to work the way it's supposed to. When you hit music, if you hit home, if you hit menu, if you go into an application, if you switch between the application, you just want it to work. And this tablet does a really good job of that. I think that it's pretty optimized for the most part for most experiences. And for anyone that gets this one, I think you'll like it. Now, on the Metro by T-Mobile website, just got to throw a little information in there. The A9 Plus tablet is no longer available. You might have to call customer service in order to get that, but if you go to the website, you won't see it. They only have the A11, which is $149 for a new line. This one is $49 for a new line. And then lastly, we have the Revel Tab 2 for absolute free. Don't even bother getting that one, primarily because it has issues with certain applications. I noticed that. So I didn't find it out until later on down the line. It'll work for everything else, but sometimes it will have issues. So the Motorola tablet is probably the best value that you can get from Metro by T-Mobile right now. But again, for the people buying this straight out, hopefully this little sound check will, help you determine whether you want this tablet or not. Anyway, with that being said, let's move on. So what I have right here is Minecraft playing in the background. And for the most part, this does work pretty well. What I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm in creative mode. So I'm just going to kind of walk around and let you guys see for yourself how long it takes for assets to actually load. Keep in mind, this is a Dimensity 6300 processor with 8 gigs of RAM. And for the most part, if you're using a controller, I will say that the controller experience is much better for me personally. Some people do not play on the touchscreen. It runs pretty well for the most part. This definitely loads way faster than the Nintendo Switch 1. For anyone that has a Switch 1, you're going to notice instantly that this actually does load the items up a lot faster. Of course, I'm in creative mode, and so you can definitely see the limitations of the tablet. It's a lot of water here, but even if, regardless of whether it's a lot of water or not, it is playable. This game is very, very playable, especially if you start on land and you're just searching around rather than doing what it is that I'm doing, which is running through different islands and stuff. This runs pretty well. So whether you're going underground, digging, I've had lag, but minimal lag. And I do want to also say that if you go to the settings right here, what you're going to want to do with Android devices, mid-tier Android devices, is you go to video and you see where it says simple. You can change this in the main settings, not while in game, but I have it on simple. Normally it's on vibrant visuals. Some phones, I guess, can do ray trace. I wouldn't even try that. You have fancy, and then you have simple. Simple is the one that I traditionally use, and that works very well for low power Android devices and tablets like this one. Because remember, this is a 6300 Dimensity processor with 8 gigs of RAM in it, which isn't bad, 128 gigs internally, in case you guys were wondering. And again, it works. It does work. Like, you will be able to play a full game of Minecraft. I know you've seen that little stutter or lag there, but for the most part, it's pretty decent. Now, when it comes to Call of Duty Mobile, what I will say is that it does lag with Call of Duty Mobile. Not all the time, but every so many matches, you are going to have some hiccups here and there. The most hiccups I had is hardware hiccups, network hiccups, where I had an issue where, it was the Wi-Fi that was around me wasn't that great. So I ended up getting killed thinking I'm shooting other people. But if we're just talking about the quality of the game itself, I will definitely say that Call of Duty Mobile can only be played on low to medium settings. You can't even change the frame rate really to anything else. Most of the settings will be lowered automatically for you for the tablet to actually run. So just kind of keep that in mind and, temper your expectations. 9 times out of 10, if you have a phone like a Moto G Stylus 2024 at least, that's going to probably run better than this tablet when it comes to games. But again, this is not bad for what it does. So I normally just emulate a lot of my titles on the PS1 emulator, or I'll play Call of Duty, or sometimes I'll play the Resurgence, what's it called? The Vision Resurgence. That's a new game that came out. This tablet actually runs it. The Samsung A9 Plus, for whatever reason, it doesn't pop up in the menu. And the Rebel tab also didn't have those particular titles pop up, while this one actually did. And I was able to do a gaming showcase in a different video. So it does run pretty well. Now, when it comes to productivity, I want to make this a short part. If you're editing videos through Canva or UCut or a clip, some type of clipping, and you're using YouTube Studio, you are going to notice slowdowns on the phone, on the tablet, when it's actually converting the video in the background. Because remember, with Apple users, you guys got to sit and look at the screen until that video fully converts, while Android users can leave the screen, do other stuff, and then come back to it when it's done. And for the most part, it's pretty well. It works pretty good. I don't really have an issue. Even when playing Minecraft, it just works great. I think that this is a decent enough tablet where if you get it for an adult or even for a kid, and if they choose to game on it or certain things, I don't think anyone's going to be really frustrated using this. I think it's optimized pretty well for most applications that you use on it, whether it's social media or just everyday news feeds and things like that. I like it. It works very well. And I'm actually glad that I bought this tablet. It was on a whim, to be honest with you, because I didn't have the phone that I wanted and I just kind of got it just to get it. And I'm actually glad that I did. Now, there's one more thing. If you call, this is for the Metro customers. These tablets are like $20 a month. The lowest plan you can get is basically $15, but there is a $10 unlimited plan that they may offer to you. It's mainly for the older Metro customers, because if you already have it, you're kind of grandfathered in. You may be able to get it, but if you can't, they do have a $15 unlimited plan that you can actually get. You won't be able to get it in the store, but you'll have to call customer service, and then they'll be the ones to actually set it up for you. So again, really good tablet for what it does. Works for other applications, YouTube, web browsing, whatever it is that you want. I haven't had any issues really with this. Occasional lag and stutter when switching, not even switching between applications, but when actually just using it for excessive amounts of time, it may lag or stutter here and there. But outside of that, your experience when it comes to scrolling for the most part is going to be pretty decent. Now, I know I'm long-winded, but let's move on. So this does have biometrics. Now, unfortunately, it doesn't have a fingerprint unlocker, which I would have preferred, but it does have face unlock, and it does work pretty well for the most part. Though what I do have to say is it's kind of hard to unlock it while I'm using the tablet doing this review, so I won't be able to actually show you, but it does have face unlock. And over here, if we look to the left, where it says passwords, which I don't care if you know my password, it's only used for this tablet anyway, you have none, which means no password whatsoever. You just hit the power button and it just comes on. You have swipe. And what swipe does is, let's say you're on a lock screen. When you swipe upward, it'll bring you back to the menu we were just at, but I have a password on right now. The, what's it called? The next one, which is pen, that's what I'm currently using. I have a pen set up, and then password itself actually allows you to type in words and numbers and symbols and things like that to a password. I'm not doing all that. I'm just going to keep mine on pen, and I'm perfectly fine with that. So you do have biometrics with this device in case anyone was interested. And my suggestion also is just to kind of go through all of these settings and customize it the way that you want to. Now, don't be afraid. If you have an Android device and you've never used an Android tablet, this may look a little confusing the way that it's set up, because normally these words are filled up on a whole page. But it's really the same thing for most Motorola devices: about tablet, general settings, Google accessibility, account and sync, battery, apps, features, pen, keyboard, blibbity, 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 yabbity, yabbity, yabbity. All the same settings that you would normally see in an Android tablet are here, so you don't have to worry about that. But yes, always set up a pen, always set up your face unlock. That will help with any type of theft. Now, I don't think that you can use this as a wallet, because I don't actually see an application that says wallet on it. And to be honest with you, oh yeah, it is here. So I guess that you can actually use this as a wallet if you choose to. I don't know, in fact, hold on, my information's in here. I don't know if it's going to require you to use the face unlock for that. Normally you have biometrics with the fingerprint in order for that to work. So in order for this one to work, what you would have to do is probably type in your PIN to verify who you are and then scan it while you're at like a Five Below or whatever place. But if you have wallet on a tablet, then you're more likely going to have wallet on your actual personal phone. I suggest use your phone instead, and so you don't have to have too much personal information on your tablet. But anyway, with that being said, let's go ahead and move on. So before we end this video, I just want to say this. When you do a review, right, just me as a reviewer, I know there are going to be, oh, let me turn this on real fast. This is actually the $8 stylus pen that I bought online, and Five Below sells stylus pens just like this with the extra nibs. And yes, it works perfectly fine with this tablet. It works with an iPad. It doesn't require any software. It works with touchscreen computers. It even works with a Steam Deck. Not that well with the Steam Deck because the touch is kind of on a Steam Deck. But yeah, it works pretty well on all of your everyday, like I got the little spec sheet right here, everyday devices. Anyway, to answer the question of who this is for, let me break this down in two ways. If you're coming from Metro by T-Mobile, this is only going to cost you 50 bucks. Then you pay the plan, $20. You're looking at about $73, about $75 before taxes, depending on which state that you're in. If you decide to cancel this tablet, you don't have to take it back. You can use it for Wi-Fi. It's up to you, but it is a cheaper way to get it outside of the store. And that's one of the reasons why I personally did it, because I'm not paying a regular price. It's probably a couple $100. I'm not paying a couple $100 for nothing. I believe that, you know, with this economy that we're living in, you should get things as cheap as possible and hold on to it as long as possible so that you can get your money's worth. It's a very good tablet. The screen is sharp. The battery life is decent. I mean, I have the fastest charging speeds. They're like 20 watts for the charging speed, and the battery is 7,040 for the mAh, which is not bad at all. I think Samsung has the same one for their A9 or A11 tab. I could be wrong about that, but it's not bad for what it does. You have 8 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs internally. You have SD card slot, of course, headphone jack on the bottom, USB-C down here. You have your speaker grills from the top and bottom, Dolby Atmos. It does launch with Android 15, which I don't know why they did that. But what I will say is that as long as it gets to Android 16 and 17, hopefully 2 years of updates, then that's good enough for me. And even if it doesn't, you can still play games like Call of Duty Mobile, lower settings. You can play games like, what's it called? Warframe, Minecraft. Warframe open world is very iffy on this, and the load times are very, very long. So I would stick to the console. But if you have to play Warframe on this, it is possible. What's that other game? The Division Resurgence runs okay on it. You know, it just takes some of the assets to load while you're in the game. But what I will say is it is possible to play with other people and finish missions without it crashing and things like that. This is the basic mid-tier tablet that will work for most people if they purchase it. Now, if you're buying this straight out for the asking price, which is probably a couple $100, that's a different story. You get to go online, go on Amazon, look at other companies, whether it's Oppo or OnePlus. Well, definitely not OnePlus because they done failed the game. There was another brand, I forgot what it was called. But anyway, there's a bunch of different other brands that have tons of tablets that you can purchase, whether it's an iPad, Samsung, so many different companies. And even Next Paper has other tablets too that you can purchase around the same ballpark for this one, I believe. But this is good for what it does. And I like the MOTO Pad. So if you're with T-Mobile, you can get this, I believe. If you're with Metro by T-Mobile, you can get this. This is the tablet that I actually suggest over the Rebel Tab 2. And also, I suggest this over the A11. Only because the A11 is $149 for a new line of service under Metro, while this one is only 50 bucks. So, I mean, duh, no brainer, right? And on top of that, like we talked about earlier, you have an actual PC mode where even though it still is Android, it'll run similar to like how the windows are in the PC when you turn the orientation sideways. I like it. It works well, and I do suggest it. But always do your research. Look at other reviews, see what other people think of it, depending on if there's certain technical questions that you need. Feel free and ask in the comments section. I don't read comments like that, but I will get to this particular video if you do, and I will research whatever it is that you ask as long as it has something to do with this tablet. Anyway, like and subscribe like always, guys. I will see you in the next video. Till then, take care. Peace. God bless. I don't know what that was. And I'm out.